Thank you very much, and thank you. It's nice to actually finally meet you. I know there's been a couple of emails, but it's nice to meet you. It's nice to see everybody. I've heard a lot about this group, so I have kind of attended this morning with a little bit of kind of trepidation. I'm aware of the level of this group, but thanks for having me, and thanks for having me at Zinzino. So I apologize in advance to anybody who might have heard me go through this before. Just have a rest for a few moments whilst I go through it all again. But my name's Dr. Colin Robertson. I'm a nutrition and exercise scientist, and I've spent the past 25 years working everything from clinical exercise physiology, working in big district general hospitals, working supporting people who are rehabilitating from cancer, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, operations, surgical interventions, you name it, across the board from that. Worked across in high performance sport. So I've trained and worked and supported athletes who've taken part in 3 Olympic cycles, Beijing, London, Rio. I've taken the Ireland rugby team to the World Cup in Australia 2008. I've trained people to climb Everest successfully, thankfully. Trained people to row across the Atlantic, marathon des Sables. I've worked with elite special forces here in the UK and all over the world, in fact. I'm an environmental physiologist, so if you ever want to go somewhere where the environment is trying to kill you, like Everest or the middle of the ocean, then I'm your guy to teach you how to best survive for as long as you possibly can in that environment. I've been based at several institutes. I've been really fortunate, really. So I've been based at University of Wales in Cardiff, University of Chester, Liverpool John Moores University, Manchester, Bolton, Oxford. So I've had really good experience of a range of high performance and high research output institutes. I've been a part of the Greater Manchester Health Innovation Strategy for 3 years, again, working with people looking at research around reversibility of type 2 diabetes, supporting people to overcome chronic disease. I'm a part of the Active Cheshire Task Group here in the UK, which is trying to get people to be more physically active across the whole county. I'm a part of the Advanced Clinical Practice Group that informs Health Education England so that we can train our clinical specialists to better rehabilitate and give nutrition advice to people who've overcome disease, illness, whatever it might be. I'm also a part of the Cities Changing Diabetes Strategy, which is a global innovation, which is trying to stop what's actually been a pandemic for much longer than Corona, stop the rate at which type 2 diabetes is laying siege to the world. So I've probably forgotten some stuff in all of that. I do a lot of research. Thankfully, had a paper published on Friday, which is always a personal cheer moment. Most of my research is looking at fatigue. So either how we overcome that through nutrition, or if it's fatigue related to disease or fatigue related to high performance sport, and how we can best manage those circumstances and make people more successful and get them to recover far quicker. My kind of role, I do a lot behind the scenes. So people will typically come to me if they have a particular research question, and they'll ask me to develop a document that informs a lot of practitioners. There's a reason why I'm telling you that, because back in April 2020, middle of lockdown, well, lockdown had just begun for us in the UK, and I was sat here at my computer and I was working on an epigenetics project looking at omega-3. And I was writing up a document which was really about informing a whole council of people to say, we need to encourage people to increase their omega-3. You know, this is a huge health issue, and it's something really simple for us to put right. That's what we need to do. So I was working away on this piece of research, and I got a phone call off an old friend of mine, Tony O'Neill. And I don't know if any of you know Tony. He worked at BMW, Adidas, was a senior executive for Under Armour, and then left Under Armour to go and work for the company that have Timberland and those kind of brands. So operated at a very high level in the corporate world, but has had a few health issues. And he rang me up and said, Colin, someone's told me to take this product. They said it's going to revolutionize my health. And also, I think the business is amazing and I'm interested in the business. So I said, I know nothing about business, Tony. So that's nothing to do with me. And my heart sank, because whenever anyone tells me or asks me about a product historically, I would normally have a quick look and go, it's a load of rubbish, don't bother with it, just move on with the rest of your life, go and eat some fish. Anyway, because it was Tony and I was working on this project and he mentioned omega-3, I thought, okay, I'll have a look. And that was the first time I heard the words Zinzino. And I thought I was going to spend 5 minutes having a look, make a list of why it was rubbish, tell him why it was rubbish, and then we could all crack on with our lives. I'll go back to my research and he can go back to doing what he does. But every question I had made me go, hold on, they've done that, and they've done that, and it does this. And then I was going through and looking at ingredients, and I was looking at certification, and I was looking at the claims. And I actually rung them up, and this is the truth. I said, Tony, I need more time because this is really interesting. This is going to take me a little bit of time to have a look at this. And they said, tell me more about this. How has this come to you? So he told me a bit more about it. And I said, right, you have to give me a couple of days. I'm going to go and have a look at this properly. And again, I thought, right, I'm going to find out what's happening here. This can't be true, because no one ever makes good products. They all make rubbish. So I started to look at it more and more. And then I went back, and in front of a shared friend of ours who's a high performance coach, strength and conditioning coach, one of the best high performance coaches in the world, works for the biggest teams. He was on the call and he said to me, what do you think, Col? And I said, you know what? This is incredible. Tony, you should take this, and I'm going to start taking it. And so is my wife and kids. And Neil, who's the high performance coach, I was like, you need to tell your athletes to start taking this. This is what we've been looking for. So then I got asked along by Vibeke, who's here, who has a way of getting me to attend meetings and talk at stuff like you wouldn't believe, and said, would you come along as an independent researcher and just talk about the science? So I started to get called upon to do these, and more and more and more. And I got to the point, I was like, guys, I've actually got a full-time job and a family, and I get it, but I've done a load of these, record some of them, share that with people. But the more and more my interest got up, the more and more I started to think this is part of the solution. And let me tell you why. For 20 years, at least, I've spoken all over the world to thousands of people, written research papers, contributed towards chapters in academic books, taught students on degrees, master's degrees, PhDs, and we've made no difference, because for people to be successful in bringing about a health change in their life, it has to be simple. It has to be real, and it has to make a difference from the start, because changing behavior is the hardest part. And it's all very well when we say to people, and I know because I've tried for 20 years, I had a good go at it. When we say to people, right, you got to eat differently, stop eating all that. You got to have fresh fish every single day. You've got to have leafy greens, fresh fruit, vegetables. You've got to eat this amount of it every single day. It's just overwhelming. People might try it. You get a tiny bit of success, 1 or 2 people. Most people go, no, life's not like that. It's just not convenient. It's too hard, costs too much. I don't understand it all. So I remember it distinctly. 3 years ago, I was at a conference, an international conference. And I stood up and I said, we have the technology and we have the intelligence. Why does nobody make really good, intelligent food supplements that benefit people's health? Because that's what health is going to look like in the 21st century. Why does no one do that? And I made a bit of a call upon big industries to say, you've got a moral duty. Nothing wrong with making a profit, but you've got a moral duty to start giving people food and supplements that will benefit their health. Make it easy for people. So I'd said that. So that was going on in the back of my mind when I started to go through the Zinzino website. I started to go, this is it. This is somebody who's doing that. That's exactly what they've done. They've gone out their way to make products that really do what they say they do and bring about that difference. I obviously had a look and I saw who the science advisory board was, and then it all started to make sense. And then I just had a moment where I thought, this is the solution. and I've spent my whole career wanting to be a part of the solution. I've spent my entire career wanting to change the health statistics of the planet, because in my lifetime, they've only got worse. I'm not saying it's my fault, but I've been around and all of the health things have got worse despite our advances. And I know we can do it better. I know that we can empower people to live better quality of life by having easy access to excellent nutrition. We have to get real. There are 7.8 billion people on the planet. We've got to look at ecological solutions, and we've got to look at solutions that change people's health status without them having to overhaul their life. So then, fast forward a few months, and I got into conversation, first of all, online with Orion and Dag, and that was really entertaining and really good. I felt really positive about it. And then I met Henrik and Ida, and that was just the same. And then I flew over to Sweden, and I met them. And literally, I'm very big on people. I've worked in team environments, and a successful team, and I've been a part of some really successful teams, is all about trust. That's what it's about. You've got to trust the people around you. You've got to believe in those people. And I literally arrived, and within 20 seconds, I had Doug and Henrik like making jokes about me. It was as if I'd known them for 10 years. They were having a laugh, and Jacob sat down, gave me a load of abuse for 20 minutes, just taking the mick out of the way I spoke, where I was from, the football team I supported, what I was wearing, and it was brilliant. So within 20 minutes, I felt like I was just meeting up with friends of mine, and then spent a really good 2.5 days at the head office, meeting everybody. And it was just, it was a no-brainer. This was the solution. This was what I wanted to be a part of, was getting this to be as good as it can be and getting it everywhere. So very thankfully, Doug offered me a position, and Henrik offered me a position. They welcomed me into the team, and I for the first time ever, I didn't have to think about it. I knew exactly that this was the right step to make. So why am I here? Just to sum up, and thank you for listening. I'm here to play a part. What Zinzino are about. And a lot of people say this, but it's just a thing to say. But what Zinzino are genuinely about is best in class. What's the best way of doing it? And can we do it even better? What does the research say? Is that the best way to do it? Are we convinced by the research? And does that make sense to people? Can we communicate things to people so that they are better off, better informed, more empowered? How can we deliver something that lives up 100% to what we promise? So that's what I'm here to do, is to trawl through the research, have those debates. I've already hit the ground running. The debate, let me tell you all, I've worked at big universities and been surrounded by some professors who have big reputations, and you go in and you have to fight for your ground. The meetings we have are exactly the same as that, where everyone's saying, well, what about this? And what about that? And we can do this. And what about this? And there's a lot of really good, positive pressure to get it right and do it well. So it's a great environment to work in. And hopefully I plan to contribute to that. Just make it work and develop it over the next however long. Let's see as far as we can take it. So in a nutshell, I've taken 20 minutes of your time. That's who I am. That's what I'm about. That's why I'm here. Zinzino, I'll just finish with this. Zinzino has kind of changed health in my household. It really has. I've seen it firsthand. It's changed health in the friends that I see. And through these forums, I see the impact it's having. But when I forget all that and I just look at the evidence, the research, Zinzino and what it's about has the capacity to change the health of the planet. So that's what I'm here for. And that's what I hope to do. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing me out.
What an incredible speech here. And I have to say that after delivering such a speech, you have to be prepared that you're going to be bombarded with questions from the leaders that want you involved in their meetings. So are you open for that?
I'm booking you right now all 3 weeks, so no one else gets you.
Just cross it off.
Of course.
You know, I started to write down your background, and I just had to stop in the middle of it because I understood that I would be writing forever here.
And that's very kind. You know, as well, I'm not trying to be arrogant as well. I always forget things. And anytime I've done one of these talks, I go, I should have told them about that as well. But I think that's everything in a nutshell. But guys, I am here to support you, you know, communication and getting what we do across to people, making it so that people can understand it easily is the art of it. So I am here to support all of it. You know,
Ja, toll, genau sowas.
take part in that. Do bear in mind though, there's only 168 hours in a week, and I like to sleep for a few of them. But outside of all that, I'm your man, and I'd love to help and support what it is that you're trying to do.
Thank you so much, Colin. And thank you for being part of Zinzina. We greatly appreciate having you on board.
May I have a question on Colin? One
Yeah.
quick question. Colin, hi, my name's Adam. I would like to ask you, what was your biggest aha moment that you saw and you realized that it really works? What is the highest proof for you, for yourself?
Two things, and this will give you a bit of an insight to the kind of person I am. First of all, the first thing that really struck me was the science, the whole nature of the dosage of the omega-3, because most people get that wrong. They don't recommend enough. The attachment, the binding to the polyphenol, because we've talked about that in research for a long time, saying fish oil, it gets exposed to air, gets exposed to heat. That's why it doesn't do what it does. You're separating it from polyphenol. So that was a big thing. And it's so simple, but Adam, it's genius. And that's often how genius works.